Hey, this is Dave,
Matt,
and Zap.
and welcome to the Vintage Cinema Review.
where every week we review some of our favorite films from the past.
Hey, there ain't no late fees here.
Silence is golden, and be kind. Rewind.
Hey, fellas, what you got dusted off there today? Sliding in the old VCR.
What's going on?
I feel like we're dusting ourselves off. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Long
Wow.
time. I'm glad that VCR still works.
Still working 40 years later.
Hell
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so the Terminator. The Terminator.
The Terminator
That's right.
with Arnold.
Could have been a few other people.
Could have been.
So yeah, the Terminator, 1984, rated R. It was a runtime, hour and 47 minutes, directed by James Cameron, produced by Gail Ann Hurd, who I guess he was married to then. I didn't know that.
Cameron was?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's scandalous.
I have to check out a picture then. I usually like doing that.
Yeah, I know,
When
right? Look her
You
up.
see it, you always try to look them up. Be like, how'd she look?
The budget on this one, $6.4 million, and box office was $78.3 million.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's a good return
Yeah, juice is worth the squeeze.
for
See,
sure.
this was like, this wasn't, they didn't expect much out of this. Very like low budget.
Yeah, I mean, $6 million really wasn't a lot for everything
No,
in this
not for a
movie.
sci-fi type movie.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the one that really put him on the map. Like, this was his first biggin'.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
He do Titanic.
Sure did.
He did.
Okay.
But I think this
Yeah,
was, and then it
Cameron.
was Aliens was after this, I believe.
Correct. The
Yeah.
plural. Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that was a great movie.
Oh, I love
Aliens
it.
Oh,
was
absolutely.
fantastic.
Love it. This was filmed between March 19th, 1984 and May 28th, 1984. So roughly 2 months.
Not bad.
Yeah, I would have thought longer. But maybe it's a lot of post-production stuff.
Maybe. This was in, it was filmed in L.A., right?
That is correct. Yeah, that's the next thing here. Primarily filmed in Los Angeles. Key locations include Griffith Observatory and streets and alleys in downtown, and Van Nuys, Huntington Park, and Fontana, California.
There it is.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for the locations and budget and all that. I'll hand it over to Zap for the cast.
All right. The cast of Terminator includes, but is not limited to, Arnold Schwarzenegger as,
Whoa.
that's right, as the Terminator. Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese. Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. Paul Winfield as Ed Traxler, that is to say, Lieutenant Ed Traxler. Lance Henriksen as Hal Vukovich. Bess Mata as Ginger, that's Sarah's roommate.
Yes.
Says some, not me. That was on behalf of others.
I like that 80s tan she had going.
Oh, yeah.
She was dark. For a white girl, she was dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rick Rossovich as Matt, and Earl Bowen as Dr. Peter Silberman.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm going to say Venkman.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think
It's not.
close.
that Hal Vukovich, isn't he from Stilton? Sounds like a Stilton.
Vukovich, yeah, the Vukoviches.
Yeah.
Yeah, they owned a little restaurant there, and then they sold it a while back.
So I remember coming up with a last name, a guy with a last name, Vukmanik,
Oh, okay.
not Vukovich, but hey,
Close.
it would make a lot of sense.
With the Vukmanics? Is that
Yeah.
what you're talking? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for the cast. We'll turn it over to Matt for a brief synopsis.
Did you recognize Chet
I did.
in the
yeah.
beginning?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
I like this hairstyle.
That was
I
cool.
wonder if this was this his first role as well?
I don't know that it was his first, but probably one of the first.
It was early.
Yeah.
And did you recognize Ginger's boyfriend?
No.
He was the co-pilot of Iceman in Top Gun.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I
did
forgot
not.
his name, but I forgot what his name is in Top Gun. But
That is
I was
absolutely
like,
correct.
dude, that's Iceman's co-pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had a pretty cool role, I
Nice.
guess. But okay, a brief synopsis of the movie The Terminator. Disguised as a human, a cyborg assassin known as a Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, travels from 2029 to 1984 to kill Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton. Sent to protect Sarah is Kyle Reese, Michael Biehn, who divulges the coming of Skynet, an artificial intelligence system that will spark a nuclear holocaust. Sarah is targeted because Skynet knows that her unborn son will lead the fight against them. With the virtually unstoppable Terminator in hot pursuit, she and Kyle attempt to escape. That's a good brief
That was
synopsis.
good.
I like that.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah,
I
that,
like
that was from
it gave away a lot, but it was enough.
that was from Film Synopsis.
I like
It's
it.
actually a whole website now.
Yeah.
I think they got that from us.
They
Because we
might
were
have.
always looking for synapses.
So they made a website.
Damn,
That's a
these
good
guys.
idea.
Yeah. Terminator.
We
There you go.
altered the course of time.
We did.
We did.
It's almost like the Terminator.
Yeah, I know.
Like if we were way ahead and then we went back and then they went forward. How would that work?
There's a ton of fan theories on this we'll get into later.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. So, Zap, do you want to start us out, I guess? Where did we start in the movie? Like, where did we start out at?
Yeah, with the lightning. Are you going to start from the little that weak battle in the beginning? Did you see in the beginning the the special effects?
Oh, well, that
With-
was all like stop animation.
Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
They were
that was
like
horrible.
little models, I think. They
Yeah,
used
the
for
model
it.
was it was something that you would do. I think I did it in like my bathtub one time when I had to film something with my dad's video camera.
You're
I
not
was doing-
wrong.
I was doing like this scuba thing and it looked just like that.
You're definitely not wrong.
It's what I wanted my toys to do and look like, but never did.
Yeah. So actually my son has stuff that you can get on he does it on the Apple now, that like this whole stop animation. It's pretty wicked.
Yeah,
Some cool stuff. Yeah.
technology.
It was better than that.
What is it?
What is it?
So our movie starts in 2029, right? So the humans they're about to win this victory. I mean, you see the war scene going. They're about to beat Skynet, and as Matt had aptly pointed out in the synopsis, Skynet is that evil, terrible program that's just these killing machines. So, of course, as a result, Skynet sends back this soldier to this machine soldier back in time with a quest to win back the future. Of course, in response, human forces, we send our own soldier back to protect their victory.
Did they ever explain the sending back part? Because
No.
I didn't get that. It just went from a war scene, then all of a sudden there was like the
Time
like,
travel.
Yeah, the time travel.
Nope.
But that was never really. I didn't get that part.
No, it what's his name? Kyle Reese ends up explaining it later to what's her name, to Sarah. But I mean,
But like briefly, I think it was in.
there's
Was that in the car?
so
Or in the,
yeah. So in the verbiage, the visual of the written word that you see in the beginning, I mean, they explain that the battle's in the future, but the victory is in the past.
Word.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. Yeah, he's a T-800. Arnold is.
So right, and there it is. So Arnold, who is of course the Terminator, he materializes naked as hell at this park, kills a bunch of punks by like a bunch, I mean 3, because he wants their clothes. Learns a couple of fun catchphrases there in the meantime, and that's where we see for that first time and the only time Bill Paxton with blue spiked hair.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Always in the 80s, those movies, always punk rock dudes
Yeah.
that are like the bad guys.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
Dude, so I'm watching that, and it's so funny you say that. I'm thinking, wow, like if I was a kid and all I saw, I should say when I was a kid and you're growing up, and all you see is just bad white guys, just trashy white dudes hanging around. I'm like,
Yeah.
God, man,
Well, I mean,
I'm ashamed for my race here. This is
Yeah.
awful.
They're always like that.
It was in L.A. and they always have sort of chains. What like
leather.
leather and
the spiked
chains.
hair. It's the punk rock look.
I didn't get the whole thing. What were they trying to look at through a telescope? Like what was
I know.
Who
right?
knows? Yeah.
Come
like what
on.
are the bad kids doing? Like give me that telescope. It's my turn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you imagine being the parents? Like you already know your kid's a degenerate. You already know the kid's going to go out and he's going to be up to no good. What are you doing tonight? Deadbeat son. Well, I'm going to the astronomy tower. I'm going to go.
I'm gonna go watch stars.
Yeah.
Peeping Tom or something. But would you mess with a dude like that rolling up on you? I don't care how tough you are.
A naked dude that looked like Schwarzenegger, that's
Yeah.
where you just leave it be. But they thought they were cool because they had the knives, remember?
I
They're like
guess.
switchblades everywhere.
The filming in that was quite superb. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Arnold. I mean, he was definitely built and buff and massive. But the angle that they catch him when, he just comes out of his little curl from time traveling, he stands up. Dude, his chest,
Oh,
and we're all watching rectangular televisions now, his chest is left to right, the whole damn thing. Like, he is massive.
So you figure this is 83, 84, well, 84, I guess, when
84.
they're filming it. I think Arnold was born in 47. So let's do some math. Zap.
37.
37. So we'll say he's like 37. That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, he
Really
looked like a real 37 in that. Instead of like the 80s when you look at people who are 37, look like they're
Oh, I know.
64.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
Say-
The first.
So at the same time, though it obviously has to be after the fact for film's sake, but at the same time, Kyle Reese arrives, and he again appears at the same time, but he's just in a different location. He's downtown while Arnold was in that park. Of course, Kyle too is naked. Now this guy, instead of killing 3 bums, or I'm sorry, killing 3 deadbeats, punks.
Yeah.
Thank you, punks. He just takes some clothes from a bum,
Mm-hmm.
goes in and finds himself a shotgun and some sneakers at a sporting goods store while evading the police in the meantime.
Hey, he took my pants. Yeah, why would you take a bum's pants? Those things got to stink, man. I was thinking the whole time.
When you have nudity,
He could have just ran
or the other option,
nude.
he wants to blend in, bruh.
Yeah.
But you can't blend in when you're stealing a homeless guy's pants.
Can't you? There's bum fights.
I don't know. There had to have been some reekage factor. That's all.
There's no doubt. There is no doubt.
He was human, though. He brought in the human factor. Arnold was the T-800,
He was
right?
a cyborg.
Yeah, he was a cyborg.
See, and that's the human factor.
Yes.
Robbing a bum.
That's it.
That's
You're
the
right,
human
though.
factor.
Okay, I get it now.
It humanizes him.
That humanizes him.
But why do you
Exactly.
think the tech wasn't there to just come back with clothes on, like for time travel? Like,
Because think of, you ever see The Fly?
yeah, it's been
Same
a
concept.
long time.
Same
Have you ever
concept.
done that?
So
We never did that on Vintage.
teleport?
No,
No,
Time
Vintage-
travel?
I wish.
go back to '84, get a bike.
No, so it's
Next bike.
it's the idea. So they can map they can map the cells and they can map the human body and they can get all that straight. If you start throwing clothes and any other inorganic
And or
material
a
into it,
fly.
And
Right.
Spaceball. Oh no, they didn't do it. It wasn't time.
Yeah, he
travel.
teleported back.
things come out all meshed
Yeah.
together.
His
you don't want
ass was
that.
out front in that
Mm.
one.
That's right.
Spaceballs.
That's right.
He's been Scrooged.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like little things in this movie. Obviously, you can't pick it apart. It's a movie. Like, it's supposed to be suspend disbelief. But I was thinking about, like they couldn't figure that out.
How to
come back.
transport with clothes.
Every movie I've ever seen with time travel, which is all theory,
No,
theory.
that-
But this may be the most true theory. Like, if it really was possible, you wouldn't be able to send
I
clothes,
mean, I see
guess.
what
I
you're
don't.
saying.
I don't think you could. I think Zap's right in that. Like you can't add any because they break down the whole molecular structure of a human being. You can't You
Put it
can't
back together,
put it back
yeah.
together with different whatever else
But
is
now,
in there.
I might be mistaken, though, now that I think about it, because that has to do with what we were talking about, the transporting two things together. That's teleportation. That's not necessarily time travel.
Yeah.
They were more. Were they time traveling or They were teleporting.
No, they were time traveling, obviously.
Oh, that's right. You're going
But-
from the
but
back.
These guys are time traveling from 2029 to 1984 versus teleporting like
Star Trek, they teleported.
Star Trek is teleporting.
Yeah,
That's
you,
right.
you could go in your clothes.
The Fly is teleporting.
But Arnold was all metal underneath, so why not dress like a knight?
So
Or
that
like
is
metal.
that's what throws the theory. That's what throws the whole wrench into it. Another hole, one of many holes in this movie, was the fact that Arnold was metal under and flesh over.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Wouldn't
could do
those
it.
two mesh just as easily as clothes?
Right.
Could.
James Cameron, you're beat.
See, I didn't get that part either when Kylo Ren found what's her face?
Sarah Connor,
Sarah Connor.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Kyle Reese.
Oh,
Kyle
Reese.
Reese.
Yeah,
When-
Kyle Reese.
Not to be
Kyle
confused
Reese.
with Lando Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
again.
No. It's
Right.
different people.
Different movie.
But why didn't he just snatch her up and then get the time travel going again?
I don't even know.
One more question about time travel.
But no, we can't. We can't because I promise you, time travel is going to suck up so much
no,
of this.
No, but this will be the last
I
one.
do want to hear Dave's
This is
time
just
travel
one
theory
last-
of relativity.
This is a question, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Why not go further back in time when she's like younger?
And
He-
just step on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? Or back to a time where it's her great grandparents and it's just like they're going to fight you with stones and sticks and whatever else like that.
That's back to where we said. Well, they never explained where the time travel was.
Yeah,
like
I
you
know.
said, if you could time travel, why go to that point where you're trying to chase her with
Well,
3 Sarah Connors in a phone book?
And then in my mind, and my theory was maybe time travel is only to a certain point.
Mm.
And maybe that's why.
They could only go back 35 years.
Right.
Right.
Maybe 2029 didn't have the time travel as good as it should be in 4 years from now,
We'll find out.
since we're traveling all over
Wait,
the
is that
place.
35 or 45 years? 16, 29. What?
We're
Wait.
2025 right now.
Wait,
That was
84
2029.
What am I now?
45 years.
That's 45 years, yeah.
Yeah. 45.
Damn.
Crazy.
Sorry, man. Yeah, again, I'm one of those guys that you ask me wherever. I think the 90s were just like 10 years ago.
They were.
All right. So anyway, both of these naked dudes now clothed are both of them make their ways to their nearest phone book because I guess, that's what you do. Back in 84, there were things out there called phone books and they look up all the names and addresses of Sarah Connor in the area.
Are there still phone books? I think every once in a while you get something like
You get
like a white
some
pages or
beat
blue pages.
Back in my day, they were so thick and
They
massive
were.
and awesome. I mean, that's what prisoners used to wrap around their bodies.
Yeah, phone book.
No, it's funny. My mom used to use that to step on to get like glasses from.
Oh, yeah.
She's a short lady, but yeah, she used to get like her coffee mugs with the phone book.
They were heavy. One more good reason to be unlisted. You know, if she was unlisted.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing. What if she was unlisted? That's how they're gonna. It's a computer system.
I think they live. I think everybody's like, I need to be in the phone book. What if somebody's trying to find me? Like that's different times, man.
It's true. They weren't thinking about cyborgs.
Yeah.
It's true. At the time, they were not thinking about cyborgs.
They just were like, what if my old high school crush was trying to find me?
It's true.
Look,
Stalkers.
And they ring you up.
That's true.
Better have a good address. Not
So
in the ghetto or anything.
we soon get into a day in the life of Sarah Connor. So this is just a young single broad, works as a waitress, and she's just looking for love.
At a fake Bob's Big Boy.
So that was my first. Was that a Bob's Big Boy?
No, the dude had two
Two
burgers.
yeah.
So I think they were basing it on a Bob's. It was something
They
like
had to.
That
it was
a-
like it was like it was
AI
like
Bob.
Ron's little cheeseburgers or something.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
an AI Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah.
Like if you ask AI to make Bob's Big Boy.
It was Chuck's Cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't Bob's.
So, that's not the Bob's I know, but
Yeah.
it looked exactly like him. The only way they did it to try to avoid copyright infringement was to have him holding a second plate.
Yeah, the second burger got. Yeah, they couldn't do anything about it. They're like, son of a bitch.
Damn.
Yeah, he had 6 fingers. Like AI. That's what I'm saying.
It was like McDaniel's and McDonald's.
That's
He was like, Bros has a red one piece.
That's right. It was a
Bob's has a blue one piece.
blue one piece.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a burger. It was a beef barbecue
Yeah, it was a-
sandwich.
yes.
It was a
Right.
sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe.
Yeah. So, right. So she's working the Bob's Big Boy. That kid dumps his ice cream into her pocket. That was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Reminds me just how terrible customers can be. Diners, people dining can be. Just awful people. So the Terminator starts making his way down the list of names, killing, and he goes and kills his first Sarah Connor.
Yeah, there was three Sarah Connors listed.
There were.
Did you notice she had Guess jeans on?
The first one?
And Sarah Connor, when she went into that restaurant, I saw the little logo on the back. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember those. Guess
The
jeans.
actual Sarah Connor.
Yes, in the movie.
Gotcha.
Walking
Linda
back.
Hamilton, we're
Linda
saying.
Hamilton.
The
Yeah.
upside down triangle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the older woman that got killed in the beginning.
No, not that one.
Which is the first Sarah Connor looked like every mom in the 80s.
Correct.
I was
Well,
like,
that's what I was-
like, that looks like my friend's mom. I was like, that looks like all my friends' moms.
Well, that's what you said earlier about looking of age. She was 35. I thought she was like 50 when I saw the girl get shot.
The first older curly haired one.
Yes,
She was 35.
That's what the cops said, or when it was on the news.
Oh, yeah, when it was on the
report.
news, yeah. 35-year-old Sarah Jessica Connor or whatever it was.
See, that's a damn.
That's an 80s 35. That's what I'm saying.
That's a hard life.
Yeah, those were
35.
rough times. I think you only lived to 60 in the 80s. That was like
I
top
swear to
age.
God, when I was watching this, I swear I've seen that woman in Night Court, the first Sarah Connor that died.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Big
Yeah,
fan,
she looked familiar.
big fan of Night Court, like the
Marky Post.
certainly not Marky Post.
She's hot.
Who's dead, by the way?
No
Is
way.
she?
Marky Post is dead as fried chicken.
I didn't know
Man,
that.
how about Richard Dean? What's his name? The main guy.
He's dead. Harry Anderson.
Harry
He's
Anderson.
long dead. Long dead.
What about Richard Mole? He's still alive, right?
He might be still alive. I know that
He gotta
Dan
be
Fielding
late
is still alive.
Yeah, he had his own sitcom. Another one that was out
John
recently. John
Larroquette.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He was in the new one. I should say the Redux.
Yes, the redone. I didn't watch any of that.
No,
I
hell
tried to
no.
watch like 2 minutes of it. It was
Would
terrible.
ruin my soul. Let's see. Oh, okay. So while she's at work, she gets called in by the one waitress. And it's like, oh my gosh, I got to show you this. Oh, look, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she sees, the first Sarah Connor is dead. And okay, just brushes it off. Not a big deal. Then we move on to date night. Alas, Sarah's date cancels, so she goes out alone. But meanwhile, there's some.
Ginger Bear's getting the hoochie coochie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Old cinnamon sugar there is going to get the old stiffin. So Ginger stays home. Boyfriend Matt comes over. They bang.
I like how she bangs with her headphones on.
Dude,
That was awesome.
I know, dude. I was thinking about that.
She's like my dream woman.
It might as well be like that was the '84 equivalent of doing the same thing now, but instead of if you're doing that, if you're making sexy time, your girl's just tapping glass on her phone.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Did he have like a remote or something when somebody called and they were laying there and it looked like a wired remote or something?
Yeah, he was using it to turn up the volume on
the
her
headphones.
headphones.
Oh, okay.
Because he was like really getting down. He was like getting
Yeah.
into it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess. Well, Terminator showed up and killed both of them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Michael Myers. This reminds me like a horror movie a little bit.
I think it was like an action suspense. Did they? I don't think it got a horror.
This is for sure a horror movie, and it was
Really?
it was intended to be a hell of a lot more horror based.
Yeah, like that.
100%. This is considered a horror movie.
They're like action drama.
It's action. Oh, there's plenty of action and there's plenty of drama, but there's horror in this.
Yeah, the suspense and the chase.
Even like the music when he was like the dong dong dong, like that stuff. Yeah.
For sure. So Sarah's out alone, and while she's out, she sees on the bar, or she overhears the telly at the bar that yet another Sarah Connor was killed.
She's scared.
Yeah, so now it's 2 Sarah Connors, same night, same day, whatever. So fearful for her own life, she ducks into this nightclub called the Tech Noir and calls the police.
Well, that's what she called and left. That's how Arnold heard. The Terminator was like, "Oh, I got Sarah," and he's looking at her face. And then he was like, oh shit, because then the message comes on, remember?
That's correct.
Yeah, so she's like, I'm at the Club Noir or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, man, I got to go there now.
Yep. Think how expensive that was, because I think they said $450 to get in.
Oh, shit, yeah, I remember that part. I was like, damn.
So $450 to get in.
1984. What is that today?
Probably like $10.
Well, no,
Really?
but think about like
$15 equivalent today.
Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought, but I was thinking the movie tickets were like 84, probably $1.25, maybe $1.50.
$2.
I was like, man, and she wasn't even drinking in there.
No,
she had like a ginger ale or something at her.
Like you're really paying attention.
I know.
I was like, I don't recognize all that.
She was, remembering her homies.
Yeah.
Not even knowing that she was dead.
She poured out a little liquor.
Well, for
ginger.
It actually ties back to a fan theory I'll get into later.
Okay.
Canada Dry, the ginger ale or whatever it was.
There's a lot of circling back
Remember
here.
that? Making my move to Canada Dry.
Yeah.
Hold on, you sweet things, I'm ready to try. You
That
guys remember
commercial?
it? Yeah.
I do not remember that commercial at all.
I liked jingles when I was a kid.
Dude, so do I.
Yeah, I'm growing up with you. I know you would call them out.
Of course. I just don't remember the Canada Dry one.
Yeah, it was a good one.
You must have watched adult television.
Yeah.
I had HBO as a child.
Yeah, see, you got adult Canada Dry commercials. I was
they
watching stupid-ass Kool-Aid commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I think the cool commercials came on, the TGIF stuff.
Yeah.
They had all the bangers.
I like the toy, the animal, never give up. And it was like a truck thing that would crawl.
The Saturday morning cartoons then.
Yeah. Jingles.
Jingle. So she's at the Tech Noir, and she's waiting for the police. And while waiting for the police, Terminator arrives, starts shooting everybody. But fortunately, Reese has been tracking the Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
So Reese arrives, saves the day. Those two get the hell out of there. And of course, a car chase ensues through the streets of L.A.
Decent car chase, by the way.
Yeah, dude. They're in whatever car, and Arnold's in a police car.
He was in some sort. Was that a Lincoln or was that a Caddy?
I don't know, but I laughed. The cop goes, a late model.
Late model.
So I was looking at I guess it was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a LTD, I think, Ford.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad had one of those.
Well, didn't he have? Oh, that was the second car chase. I think he had that brown Ford. Then he switched cars, right?
He was in a couple cars. I think I even saw a Javelin at one point.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Well, who makes that? Is that like a Pontiac or something?
AMC.
AMC.
And then
wow.
in American Movie Classics.
Yeah, right.
Oh, AMC Theater Presents.
Yeah.
That's right. So, of course, to keep the story going, Sarah and Kyle, they evade the Terminator temporarily. And that is after they had evaded the dude, that's when Reese tells the story. That's when we hear the whole story about Skynet, right? This AI defense network created by Cyberdyne Systems. It ended up becoming self-aware, triggered a global nuclear war to kill all of the humans. Then he tells the story of John Connor, who is actually Sarah's yet-to-be-conceived son, who organized and led this resistance. And then this resistance is the whole thing that's, they've been fighting the robots, and they were just about to win. And that's when Skynet sent back the Terminator to kill Sarah, thereby obviously preventing John's birth.
See, that was the cheesy part, too, because she's like, well, who's the father? He's like, I have no idea.
Oh, did you notice on the cop cars it said, wait, I wrote it down here.
I know what you're going to say. I didn't see that it read, but typically when I see a cop car, it reads to serve and protect.
And this was to care and to protect. So
yeah.
I don't know what
They couldn't do that because of the LA cops are probably like, we don't want to be.
It's copyrighted or something.
We don't want to be involved in putting
Either that or even back then, California was already going way woke. Way woke.
Yeah, they didn't want it on there.
But we care. The cops that care. Mm-hmm. So, of course, while Reese is rapping with Sarah, trying to get his swerve on, Terminator reappears. Another car chase, blah, blah, blah.
What a cock block.
I know,
Yeah,
dude.
always,
Damn
man.
Terminator, dude.
But yet, after so car chase ensues, Terminator ends up crashing,
Mm-hmm.
and then he disappears. We don't see the Terminator. They get away for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
This part really bothered me because he's a Terminator, T-800 Terminator. Dude's like unstoppable.
Yeah.
So he just hits a little bit of a brick wall, which the crash dummies in that. Did you?
Yeah. Oh,
See
yeah.
the one guy in the beginning that was on the back, like firing up at his whole body was the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's terrible.
So that you're talking about in the future.
In the future,
when
yes, they showed that.
Kyle's,
Yes,
when Kyle's driving the car, and there's this basically this dummy that's on a turret above
yes, the turret
above
dummy.
the car. Yeah.
2029.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But the Schwarzenegger part, the whole dummy, the crash test dummy hits the wall.
Is it?
But instead of killing like the 5 cops and then just killing Connor, he disappears.
So the car blows up.
Yeah.
The car blows up, and
He had a little bit of damage. I know he's like, oh, that was a cool part though.
car blows up,
Yeah.
big fire, blah blah blah.
I have to leave because I'm a Terminator. It made no sense.
I got to go fix myself. I have to go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back. I got to take a deuce.
To powder my nose.
I'd imagine though back in '84, like seeing that stuff. Like I know to us it probably looks cheesy now, but like the special effects and stuff.
Oh,
That was good for that time.
Incredible.
That was really good, especially
Absolutely
with
incredible.
the knife, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Of course, while these two they just evaded the Terminator, and then lo and behold, the police. Yep, there's the popo. Barry's chirping.
Flashing them high beams.
That's right. So they pick up Reese and Sarah, take them to the station. Of course, now here comes the cutscene where the Terminator is since holed up in a hotel, and he's performing his own little self repairs on his eyeball and on his arm.
Yeah.
There's a part that one can't miss at this point, and it's did anyone notice the change in Arnold's hair?
No.
When he was doing the eye thing or what
Well, it definitely looked bad. Like the mask, you could tell it was like.
yeah.
I didn't notice the hair.
It is, in fact, so during the alley chase that follows the shootout at the Tech Noir nightclub, Kyle Reese shoots the car, making it explode so he and Sarah can escape. Terminator jumps through the raging fire, and he can be seen smoking, right? Like he's on fire as he chases after their car. So it's implied that the fire singed off his eyebrow and some of his hair. Because in the beginning, when we go back to that original scene when Arnold first arrives, I mean, his hair is all feathered.
Yeah, it
looks
good.
perfect.
Yeah,
like he's just chiseled and
what is
looking,
that, a coif? Is that what they call it? What is that?
Coif.
A coif.
Looking great, looking awesome. But now we see him in this apartment doing his self-repair. And I'll attribute this to James Cameron's like attention to detail. We now see that his eyebrows are gone. Absolutely gone, and his hair he's got this awful looking mullet, just this terrible looking stuff because his hair burned off the front of his bangs, for lack of a better word. His lack of a better word, his bangs burned off and his eyebrows burned off.
Attention to detail.
Yeah, that was more attention to detail than Terminator 2. Remember with the truck, it goes and he breaks out the whole window on the chase scene where the truck.
And then it's back.
Yeah, and then the window's back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
It's miraculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So he's repairing himself, and now we're back to the police station. We're back in Kyle and Sarah world, where Sarah learns of Ginger and her boyfriend's murder, and in the meantime, Reese he's being questioned by that doctor's Silberman, the psychiatrist that we end up seeing in a much greater role in Terminator 2. But yeah, this is where he first starts learning about all the crazy shit that
The future stuff.
is supposed to allegedly happen in
He's
the
like,
future.
yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
As we can expect, Terminator arrives at the police station, and that's when we first hear Arnold say, "I'll be back."
I'll be back.
Shows up, talks to the dude at the window, comes back driving through it, kills a lot of cops, of course, to keep the movie going. Reese and Sarah escape. And during their escape, they go out, they buy supplies, they make pipe bombs, and they drive themselves to the motel.
That's where the magic happens.
Well, that's when Reese, of course, professes his love for Sarah. Apparently, he's always loved her, which is weird. And then they bang.
How did he know that?
Bang.
And then they slap.
So
That's
Arnold's
still-
much like Ice-T.
Yeah. Well, back to that.
Today
scene.
was a good day?
No,
Yeah.
Ice-T.
Ice, not Ice Cube.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Remember he had
Ice-T.
that song Cop Killer?
Cop
It was
Killer.
like this whole thing. Yeah.
What was the name of that group?
Body count.
Thank you, Body Count. Thank you.
But back to that police. They said that one cop made a comment. There's 30 cops in here. so you're safe. So that just give you an idea how many cops are in there that Arnold just
Yeah, but he
wiped out.
couldn't kill the 8 cops after he hit the thing and just got it done with.
Yeah, you're right.
Damn you.
I like that
Cameron.
cop. That I mentioned him in the credit, the lieutenant, the black guy.
Oh yeah, he's good.
One, I love that he smoked
Smoking, I was
cigarettes
gonna say,
and he
yeah.
drank coffee, and he did it both. Second,
Who was that other character actor? He was good. Both them guys are good, but the white lieutenant that was with him is like, that coffee's 2 hours old.
Yep, and I put a cigarette out in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? He was in a bunch of movies. Like,
Well, that's the Vukmanik guy, or the
yeah.
Rick Vukasik.
Manic, yeah.
Vukasik.
Rick Vukasik from the Cars.
I don't mind
Yeah.
you hanging.
He he wasn't an alien, was he?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
There you go.
all right.
Another camera movie. That's where yeah. I was like, dude, that guy is good in something else. And I
Good
couldn't
and
think of it.
terrible. Oh, so we saw what's her name?
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton.
Hamilton.
We saw
Yes.
Linda Hamilton's boobies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
On the sexy time part.
I'd mentioned this before we started recording. I've seen the movie cut so many times. I should say I've seen the cut version so many times.
Edited, yeah.
I had completely forgotten that there was nudity in this movie. Completely forgot.
Like you said, you just catch it on. I don't know when's the last time I sat down and watched Terminator until
Right.
just the other day.
So there's that too.
Yeah, you catch pieces of it. You might leave it on while you're doing the dishes, or
Right.
you got some stuff to do around the house.
That's right.
But you're not sitting on the couch like trying to watch the movie.
I'm not shuffling. I'm not siding away time. I'm going to spend the next 2 hours watching this movie.
I would imagine back in the 80s on HBO when you figure this probably came out on HBO the next year.
Sure.
It was probably on all the time. But
Constant.
I don't really remember seeing it back then. I know I went back and watched it, but I feel like I didn't fully watch the movie till after Terminator 2.
I know that I can, with absolute confidence, say that I've seen Terminator 2 more than I have seen Terminator the first.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think all of us have.
Yeah.
It was I think it was such a better movie. Also, Dave and I were saying that. I
Yeah,
think
I
that
think so.
Terminator 2 was a whole nother level than.
A whole other level.
In the
Once you
first.
start adding mercury and, manipulating mercury on the set, I mean, that's next level shit.
Yeah.
Did you see the commercial on HBO Max before Terminator came on? They were showing the new Mortal Kombat.
No, I didn't watch it on.
Well, they were showing the new game. There's a new game coming out, and I guess they have the Terminator guy from Terminator 2 as one of the characters.
Oh,
So he
really?
like does the
Wait,
thing like
the
he
liquid guy?
Robert
yeah,
Patrick.
he
Okay.
he shoots out like the knife. He's like, what the?
Oh, that's
Dang.
cool.
Like he was jacking up Sub-Zero with his knife arm. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So after they bang,
Sarah Connor and Kylo Ren.
Yes.
Kylo Reese.
after Kyle Reese, also known a.k.a. Kylo Ren, a.k.a.
Kylo Dashian.
No, man. What's the guy? Lando
Lando
Calrissian.
Calrissian.
Lando Calrissian.
Who was a pimp dad in his own right.
He was.
He was.
So after they slap it, Sarah calls her mom, says, "Hey, man, here's where I am. Here's the motel. Here's whatever. Where I'm here with this dude that just violated me or took my, virginity, wherever he did to her." Of course, in the meantime, old Terminator was at
I was gonna say
Sarah's
dirty basement.
was at
Yeah.
Sarah's mother's house and had killed her, and that because he was logically he would have expected maybe Sarah would go to her mom's house,
Mm-hmm.
kills the mother, and then impersonates her voice.
It's like Sparky is here acting up
Yeah,
again.
Exactly, exactly.
And I didn't, because like I said, I've seen Terminator 2 so many times. I didn't really remember this movie. So there's so many parts in this that are like rehashed
Yeah.
for Terminator.
Yeah. Some
Or
might say
Terminator 2, I guess.
enhanced, maybe
Mhm.
made better, retried.
Yes, yeah.
Reanimator.
Reanimator.
So of course Terminator says, "All right, thanks a lot," in mom's voice. Then hightails it to the motel, while what's her name's washing the love stank off of her, while Sarah's washing.
Was she in? Did she do it in the
stank off.
sink? That was the cut that ended up on the cutting room floor.
That's the bird bath.
I heard she was rinsing out her panties
You see
in the sink.
He was in such a good mood after that.
He was.
Came over.
His
and was
whole
like,
outlet.
smiling. Yeah.
That might have been the first time he ever had sex.
Well, that's what he said. She
Yes.
asked him if have you had? No, I've never.
He was like, this
man.
Terminator thing's not that bad. He's
Yeah,
like,
right.
if he comes around, that fine. We'll figure something out.
I'll take time travel. Time
Yeah,
travel. That's
yeah.
cool. So I guess a barking dog saved the day.
Mm-hmm.
So as they're hanging out, getting dressed, or just having pillow talk, the dogs bark, and they're like, "Oh shit, here comes a Terminator."
Yep. He's
Well, there
coming
was
to town.
the little line in there. I guess when she was dreaming about the dogs alerting them when Terminators are coming around.
Yep.
Like back in the future, 2029, I guess.
Wait, she had that thought?
Back in the future.
Well, he made a comment to her that we use dogs to alert us when the
Okay.
machines are coming or whatever.
Back in the future, not Back
Yeah.
to the Future.
Yeah, right.
'Cause we
Maybe.
can't use that. That's copyright.
No, they just can't use clothes
Oh.
Yeah,
when they
right.
time travel. So, of course, they hightail it out of there as soon as the Terminator gets there. They grab a beat little pickup truck. Was that an S10?
I don't know. It had Baja lights, so I like that.
Toyota,
Could have been a Toyota.
No, it was domestic.
Ford Ranger.
I was a Ford or Chevy, I think.
Okay. I'll go with Chevy S10 unless somebody says otherwise. So they steal that beat little pickup, and Terminator, of course, jumps on his motorcycle, and he's chasing.
He loves the bikes.
He's good at them.
Yeah.
He's good at them. They, as we well know, were refeatured in the Terminator 2.
You guys were touching on it. Just he was. Cameron was recycling. He's like, this worked.
This
I'm sticking with this.
That's right. Why fix it if it ain't broke?
I would have had Arnold in Titanic.
So,
That's Cameron.
Jesus.
There's a fan theory on that, too.
I think Arnold would have saved the Titanic. Wait, there's a fan theory on Arnold in Titanic?
I'll get to it then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow,
there's a ton of that stuff.
What fun facts were you looking
Jesus,
at?
I don't know.
I got-
I'm looking forward to Dave's fun facts,
Yeah.
man.
That's
I got
the
like nothing.
Best part of the show.
In fact, I on purpose got nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, the chase ensues. Reese is tossing pipe bombs at the guy, doing the best he can. He gets, of course, Arnold shooting at him. Reese gets wounded in the process. One of the pipe bombs actually worked well enough, was well placed. The Terminator loses his motorcycle. But then, of course, he nabs his tanker truck and then tries running them down, which is easy to do when they're driving some putt-putt four-cylinder whatever with a cap on the back of it. Who
Yeah.
knows what the hell's in the back?
Did you guys read the fun fact on the tanker truck?
No.
Do you guys remember the color of the tanker truck?
Was it black?
No, it was like a red and yellow or whatever. They said it was like trying to be like a Russian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a Russian tanker
Interesting. I was thinking more like the
because of the 80s. Like
yeah,
a lot of
everything
like the
was. Yeah.
anti-commies.
I like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pollo Hermanos.
Yeah.
Trace
Trey Herman.
Hermanos.
Yep. So Reese blows.
El Pollo Loco.
What was the name of the chicken John from?
Los Tres Hermanos.
Los Polos Hermanos.
Los,
That's it.
Los
Polos
dos
Hermanos.
taquitos.
Breaking Bad.
That's it. So anyway, Reese ends up. Fortunately, the truck is about to run him down. Reese takes the one pipe bomb, blows up the tanker truck.
Boom.
Now the Terminator, of course, survives. They're hugging and kissing, whatever. Like, oh my God, we finally got it.
Yeah.
Nobody could have outlived that explosion. Come on now.
Yeah.
So Terminator comes out. Now he's down to his exoskeleton. All the skin's melted. Definitely all the hair's burned off.
Which was a pretty kick-ass part.
That
Heck
was
yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
amazing. So, of course, still alive, exoskeleton exposed, Terminator chases these guys into, of all places, a factory owned by Cyberdyne. This will be part and parcel of the
Foreshadowing.
long
Yeah.
discussion on time travel. So, of course, there's chase scenes and hiding and distractions and whatever. The bad guys chasing the good guys, whatever. Reese jams his last pipe bomb into the midsection of the Terminator, sacrifices himself in the process.
Dead.
Terminator blows in half, but of course the upper half still survives, and some of the shrapnel hits
Sarah
Connor in the leg. So
And that hurt her.
she's crippled.
Yep.
Terminator's ripped in half, but he's, of course, crawling after her. At least the torso is crawling after Sarah. Sarah, of course, is hurt, so she's crawling away too. So it's just two cripples chasing one another. So she, of course, as she's trying to escape, she lures the Terminator into the
press.
hydraulic
Yes.
press, crushes it.
Another fast fun fact on that: they use cigarette smoke for the smoke that came out of the
That's awesome.
Oh,
of
really?
the cyborg.
I would have done that for free.
Yeah,
They
right.
had Zappa.
We need extras.
I would have brought my own cigarettes too.
Yeah.
More smoke. I'm doing the best I can here.
You got it, Mr.
Casting
Cameron.
call.
Look, I've only got 5 fingers.
Are you a good smoker?
I'm sorry, 10 fingers.
We need you.
How many packs a day, sir? I do 2. All right, you're in.
How many cigarettes could I smoke at the same time?
But they were saying about the budget on this film, and that was one of the things. They're like, some dude, I guess, guy on the side, he was there
It's like just
smoking. You're like, hey, blow the smoke through there. And he's like, yeah, okay.
I'm just thinking more like,
True.
hey, Jimmy, extinguish that cigarette, man. Put your cigarette out. Your smoke's getting in the film. Oh, wait a second. Let's keep that.
That
Jimmy,
works.
That's
keep
looking
on
good,
smoke.
Jimmy.
Smoke too.
Smoke if you got him.
So, of course, Terminator's dead. Everybody happy. Now we're in the denouement. That was the climax. So we're in Matt's favorite part, the denouement. We're now months. So now we're months later, and a now pregnant Sarah travels through Mexico.
With that fine Jeep.
Arriba.
Yeah, it was nice.
She's recording audio messages to her yet-to-be-born son, John. She stops in at this local bodega. Then the local boy at the gas station takes her picture and cons her into buying it. Now, of course, it's this, as the picture develops, it's the same picture that Reese would someday be given by John. So this obviously is the reveal that Reese is actually John Connor's father.
Or is he?
Or is he is right. Of course, the kid's not alone. He's just some little, ankle biter looking to skim whatever he can off of the locals or the people that are stopping him for gas. So the gas station owner's there, and, he looks up at the sky, alluding to the weather, says, the storm's coming, Sarah. Storm's coming. Sarah, of course, concurs.
Yes.
But she's referring to the future robot apocalypse. And then she drives off into the storm.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Good movie.
And so goes the life and times of Sarah Connor in Terminator, The Terminator.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I still like Terminator 2 better.
That's
even after
fair.
watching it, but I know there's some people that think the other way.
It's the unwritten rule that we're not going to start a review on a sequel. We got to do the OG.
Got to start out. Yeah.
But on the OG, I think, a lot of people say the first. You can never beat the first. But like you were saying, I think the second was better. The first, watching it being older, was kind of chintzy. It wasn't like that great of a movie. Like it had some really cool parts, but it's not something I'd be like, I'd watch that again tomorrow.
Right.
Something like that. Like some of the movies we've done, I was like, I got to watch that again.
Yeah,
I just enjoyed
It
it.
was well worth it. So I guess that's it for that. I guess it's time for the fun facts. Ooh.
Oh.
So I guess I'm the only one that really had it, or do you have anything?
I got a couple different ones.
Go ahead,
but
man. You started out.
they were saying James Cameron, he was the boyfriend that called, that was his voice on the answering machine that called Linda Hamilton to say, because it was a little part like he thought it would be funny.
Saying, hey, I got to cancel.
Yeah, I got to cancel tonight. Yeah.
Ah.
So that was James Cameron.
So what inspired this movie was James Cameron had a nightmare. A metallic torso dragging itself from an explosion.
So I saw that too. They call that a fever dream.
Is that what that is? Yeah.
And I will call that a lie.
Why is that?
That is a bold-faced lie. Well, I'm glad you asked, Dave.
Yeah.
Because later, James Cameron and friends were sued. They had the pantsuit off of them by Outer Limits or whoever the hell wrote the story for. I think the show was Outer Limits. It was a show back in the 60s. It was like the second
Is that
episode.
like Twilight Zone, like the Outer Limits or something? Yeah.
Yeah, just like or similar or of the same ilk as Twilight Zone. Somebody had written the story behind this crazy ass time traveling cyborg thing.
So you're saying he stole it from them?
He I don't need to say it. The judge said
But he
it,
could
and
still-
the
Judge is
But
always right.
he could have still had a dream about it. Doesn't
after
mean-
he saw it. After he saw the show.
Right, but I'm saying the part that he had a dream and it inspired him.
Okay, I'll give you that. I will not doubt the fact that he had a dream about it, and I'll even take that a step further. I mean, I fall asleep watching the telly all the time. That's why I love falling asleep to Harry Potter, because every time I do, I hope that I'm having a dream that I'm playing Quidditch or some shit.
Yeah.
So look, but I've equally at the same time fallen asleep to whatever, and there'll be some random television show or some B movie comes on, and I'll have some awful nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to whatever the hell's on the telly at the time.
So it could have inspired him to have the nightmare, to inspire him to make the movie.
That is entirely possible. And I won't argue that. Sure, he somehow, some way, this entered his dream.
Right.
There is no doubt that happened. It just happens to be that for an undisclosed sum,
They settled. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, go ahead. What you got?
No, I said this is a pretty funny one, but did you hear the rumor about one of our favorite football players was actually
OJ.
I saw that as well.
They said it wasn't believable though.
Yeah, but he was going to be the Terminator, which I thought was like kind of neat.
Well, to take that a step further, not only was OJ considered for the Terminator, Arnold was considered to play Reese.
Yeah.
I thought to play for the Bills.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, go ahead.
That's funny though that they couldn't picture him as being a murderer. I mean, that just proves time travel is not possible. They would have known that.
Like they were showing, OJ like chasing a white woman trying to kill her is like so far fetched.
Yeah,
I was like, how that would have been great.
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
I had that as my third fun fact.
So wait, let me see if I got this right. You're saying, or they're saying that OJ was too much of a like a household happy
Yeah,
fun
he was
guy.
too unbelievable. Like he was doing like Hertz commercials or whatever that was. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? Like he's running through the airport smiling.
It's like having Mr. Rogers
yeah,
as the Terminator.
they didn't see
I
it.
got
They
you,
didn't
I
see
got
it.
Linda Hamilton broke her ankle before filming, so she had to perform many of her scenes while injured. So, yeah.
I read something about that. They said her sister was her stunt double. Her twin sister.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton had a twin sister who played a stunt double in a lot of like the parts.
Dang.
The Terminator's iconic sunglasses were picked up at a random shop in L.A. Now they're legendary. So it was
Legendary.
It was just random.
We should get some Terminator shades.
I know, right? Schwarzenegger originally wanted to play Kyle Reese, but Cameron insisted he was perfect for the Terminator role. So,
Bam.
yeah.
There it is.
There was a member of the police that was asked to play Kyle Reese.
Kyle
Member
Reese.
of the
Kyle
police.
Reese.
Of the band, The Police?
Of the band The Police, yes.
Oh, Sting?
Sting was offered $350,000 to play Kylo Reese. Sting was like, no.
Why
really?
not? He was in Dune.
He was in Dune. That's the whole thing. I think what was also
Which came out the same year, by the way.
Yeah, it was also said that Arnold was telling people he's saying I'm in some shit movie. Like him and Linda Hamilton both were like, this is some stupid shit.
I did see
Like
something somewhere. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He was just doing it for the pay, and I think that's what I guess Sting kind of read the script like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like it doesn't make sense.
Well, Sting's a moron.
Yeah.
This would have been incredible for his
you can't say
career.
that.
Incredible.
Incredible for his career. What do you? That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
He's a musician.
Well, sure.
He was
but
great in Dune.
he could-
but that was like kind of it. You know, he did maybe one or two other movies, but
Maybe.
yeah.
I do know that at one point Arnold had mistakenly forgotten to take off his makeup,
Oh, yeah.
and he went out for like a burger or some shit, In and Out or wherever he went. Dude rolls in with a robotic eyeball and like his hair all jacked up and like this cuts all over
Probably
him.
scaring people.
People were freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So before we get into any more, if there's any more fun facts,
Mhm.
when Arnold pulls up to the first Sarah Connor,
Mhm.
they show his car very low street level, like you're on the street and you see the wheel roll in, and he rolls over a toy truck.
Oh yeah, that was the part where he pulls into the first Sarah Connor's house, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, he pulls in and he rolls over that truck. That's the same truck from T2 during the chase.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like a full-size truck.
No, it was a little kid truck.
So
It was a kid truck.
he runs over a toy, but the full-size, normal, regular human
Terminator
being
2.
person truck of that same ilk,
Is
that
in
exact
Germany.
same truck was used in
Ah,
T2.
I got you.
Truth.
Did not catch that.
They said, Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton was 26 in this movie. 26 or 27.
She looked like, I'm telling you, bro, she looked like a late teens, man.
Sorry, 20. Yeah, both her and Kyle Reese were 27.
Well, according to like some fan math that they were trying to figure everything out with timelines and ages, she was supposed to be 17 or 18.
Yeah, that's what they were supposed to be, 19 and 26.
That makes
is that
sense.
what it was? Okay.
Yeah,
'cause-
but they were both 27 in real life.
I got you.
She's only 17. Kip Winger approves.
So you know about the "I'll be back" line? Did you guys hear about how he kept messing it up?
No. Was this the first movie that was used?
That he like Terminator? You talking about the first one?
So Arnold Schwarzenegger is famous, his one catchphrase for "I'll be back."
Yeah,
Was this the first movie that phrase was used?
that I know of. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know unless there was another one. But he wanted to say "I will be back."
Mm.
I guess it was just more comfortable for him to say that with his accent.
Mm-hmm.
And Cameron kept insisting, "No, it has to be I'll be back." And of course, who knew it was going to catch on and become like
His
so-
catchphrase.
Yeah, so
Absolutely
iconic.
his
you know?
catchphrase, yeah. I guess he had to basically learn how to rework his mouth and tongue because he just couldn't say "I'll be back."
I'll be back. And this is probably a perfect role for him. No knock on Arnold because I love Arnold, but like that he has so little.
They said he only had
Like
50
dialogue
some
in
lines.
this, just
58
because-
lines, I think, is what they said.
Yeah, because even in Conan would have been out before all this. You know, he was in that, and what was it? Pumping Iron was the other one.
Yeah,
It was
he's
like-
better seen, not heard
Yeah.
at this point in his career.
for sure.
Well, Pumping Iron is what made his career.
Oh
Like
my god,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Are you
didn't.
saying literally or the movie of the same name?
The movie.
I
I,
see.
think that's what they were saying. Like, look,
Well,
look
both, yeah.
they're like, look at this Adonis.
Yeah, he
like,
was
look,
the man.
Like, look at this guy.
So back to what I was talking about, his wife, future wife or whatever. Cameron sold the script for just $1 to Gail Ann Hurd.
Yep.
Who later became his wife.
But there was a deal with that. I'll sell this to you for $1, but when you get this to a theater, when you get this to somebody who's going to film it and produce it, whatever, you have to have me as the director.
Right, yeah, like a payback.
Yep.
Oh, so Lance Hendrickson was originally going to be the Terminator. That was the guy who played the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were saying James Cameron, he was writing, he had like 2 or 3 separate desks. He was writing First Blood Part 2, and he was writing Alien at the same time.
At the same time.
That he was filming this movie.
Well, either filming or waiting for this to get up and running, which is why he sold it for $1 to that broad.
He said, look here, baby girl.
That's right.
So this was originally rated X, kind of like RoboCop. It
Yeah.
was like that too. And then they toned it down, I guess.
That's
Probably for the
ridiculous.
violence and stuff.
But they kept the naked Linda Hamilton boobs in it.
It's a rated X rating in 84. I thought 84 they were more like lenient with the ratings.
In Poland, this film was released under the title The Electronic Murderer.
Nice.
That's pretty
Terminator
cool.
Eisenstein.
Sounds like every one of our podcasts.
Right. The Terminator's HUD, that's a heads-up display.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was created using simple assembly code, making it look convincingly robotic.
Oh, Microsoft or something, or some sort of,
Back in the 80s, not many people had computers and all that, so.
Except Zap and Blanche.
Yeah, they
only
were
two
the
people
only
I know
ones.
that had
Shibe.
computers.
Shibe had one.
Shibe.
Yeah, shout out to Shibe.
Stroker.
Stroker 64.
Correct. A legend.
So
That was the first Terminator.
A legend.
It was the first one.
Yeah.
I'll put one last one in here. The film's success led to a surge in cyberpunk popularity, influencing later sci-fi films and video games.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so this was like real big on that.
Was there a Terminator video game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, for
I never
sure.
remember that.
Believe that.
Yeah.
Was it good? Was it like Nintendo?
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember
might
that.
have it back there. I don't know.
Really?
I have some.
I didn't even know that was a. I didn't know that was a thing.
Dang.
Where was I at?
Matt hated Terminator.
He
I
didn't
mean,
like
it's a
it.
stupid
He's
Terminator.
not supporting that franchise.
No,
Mm.
I like 2. Did they have 2? A video game for 2
Yes.
That's probably when it would have came out after.
Did it come out with,
so
like,
popular
with TNC Surf?
TNT Surf Designs?
I've got to believe that T2 would have come out on Super Nintendo by now.
Okay.
So one other quick thing on this movie, I watched it a VHS version of this. I know you guys watched it on Max or whatever, and the only difference they said on the VHS version is, well, there's a couple, but one of the major ones is there's gunshot sounds instead of laser gun sounds and like the futuristic scenes, and some of the soundtrack stuff's different, I guess.
So you're saying just the sounds.
The sound effects, I guess they
So-
changed them. Yeah.
So to be clear, in the movie, you see light beams. You see lasers firing.
but it sounds like gunshots.
So that's what I was asking.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
telling me that in the OG whatever the original one, the
So,
original
like,
cut, I should
Pew,
say,
pew, pew.
a laser fires, but they make a sound of a gunshot.
I guess there's just gunshot sounds in the back. I didn't pick it up watching it. I just saw it after the fact. I was like, oh.
Oh, you read about it after you watched it.
Yeah, when I was
You're
looking
not
at the
thinking.
fun facts, I'm like, I didn't even catch that. I'll have
That's
to
wild.
go back and see where. And it's really hard to tell on the VHS because the sound's not that great.
It's a VHS.
But that's the way to watch it, I think.
Wow.
So I guess that's the time where we'll get to late fee, return, or burn. So who wants to start it off?
I guess I will. I'd watch it again. While I have it, I know I always say that. And then I'd burn it. And then I'd take it back.
But it would still live.
Burn. Yeah. That's
It would
get
still
it.
live,
Yeah,
that's
get
right.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Then when I gave it back, it would form and it would like crawl
Come back
inside the
right out of the VHS.
Yeah. It'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't as cool as it was when I was 10 years old watching it at like my uncle's house.
I didn't dig it back then.
I dug it back then.
Yeah.
Like now I think it was cheesy, but in a cool kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I let my kid watch it like this summer or something like that, you know?
Nice.
I'm in it more for the story than I am for the actual movie part.
Right.
I think the story is something special. It's, in my opinion,
Touching.
It has some flaws, but I think the stories are. I would late fee it. I would
Okay.
I would definitely late fee this movie.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm where you're at too on that. I would late fee this now later in life. I remember back in the day when I saw that Terminator 2, I vividly remember I was 16 probably when that came out.
Yeah.
When I saw this, if I did see this before that, I didn't really dig it. I wasn't into that. Like we talked about before, I'm not a sci-fi person, but currently I would say I would late fee this. I actually might want to watch it again and catch those things.
Yeah,
So
for
that's where
sure.
I was at.
That's funny. I never knew I was such a sci-fi guy until we were talking about movies we loved as a
You're
kid. And I was
way
like,
into
holy
it.
shit.
I know.
These are all sci-fi movies. But yeah.
So the reason I kind of picked this one out to get the ball rolling again, doing the vintage cinema, and it was just 'cause the state we're at kind of now with AI and everything, and that we're very close to that date of 2029.
Yeah.
And I think
it's right there.
That's where I kind of had an interest in doing this.
You're going to see those robots rise up, and they're going to come after us, and this is going to suck. Like, I wanted to retire and just hang out and just relax. Now I got to find a goddamn bunker. I got to buy bullets. I got to do all kinds of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that like 10 years ago? Remember that? They had like shows like on TV about like people were stocking their basements with like rice and beans.
Sure, survival.
Yeah, whatever it was. It was a big thing like 10 years ago.
Survivor stuff. I guess.
I think if the cyborgs come though, it's like it's game over, man.
Oh, no doubt.
You can't.
I forgot to get back to the fan theory. I mentioned the Titanic connection. So there's a fan theory that Jack and Rose from Titanic are actually Sarah Connor's grandparents, and Jack was a time traveler who went back to save Sarah's grandmother from jumping off the Titanic.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's believable.
Just because it's a Cameron film, they tie together.
That's believable.
And then there's the infinite loop theory that, okay, so Terminator 1 is the basis for all these Terminators that create different timelines, and that Skynet knows that it has to keep sending back and basically redoing all these timelines to increase their technology, I guess, because that chip, when he got killed in the factory.
That's what, so that's the
Cyberdyne or whatever.
Yeah, that's the loop part that this is where my belief in James Cameron's use of time travel in this particular movie, it's gone. It does not make sense. It does not compute.
That they created the technology off the found parts.
Correct. That they sent back in the first place. If they hadn't to be clear, if they hadn't sent somebody back to get the chip that created the technology for them to exist, how could they have existed in the first place to send somebody back to get the chip to leave the chip that became theirs? Like, think about the theory, how it carries forward in Terminator 2. So there's that one black guy, the one scientist that works for Cyberdyne. He's like, yeah, dude, at our lab, we got this arm and we got this chip. And when we first discovered, it was like nothing we ever saw. And we're using it. We're going to be making these Terminators, and we're going to be doing this, that, and the other thing. But I've seen the error of my ways. I'm going to go blow it up. Again, if we're in 2029, Terminator 1, and Terminator 1, Skynet,
Cybertron.
2029, Megatron. When they send somebody back that ends up getting crushed and killed, but that chip is what Cyberdyne uses to create them going forward. It doesn't make sense.
Well, the whole time travel from the beginning doesn't, because they never explained why. Wouldn't you just send more people? Just keep sending if you had, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And like
if
I
they
said,
already sent it, because the Terminator, just because the chip and everything, and there's still however many hundreds were out there.
So it's entirely possible that this is like one of the original, if not the original, G.I. Joe 5-part series where they made a mass device. And they needed 3 particular ingredients to use it. There was a blue was heavy water, red was some kind of crystals,
and once it was spent, there was no way to do it, so they had to find whatever they needed again.
That's right,
to work whatever machine that they had.
That's
that makes
exactly
sense.
right. So maybe Cyber or Skynet,
which was never explained,
only had enough Jews to send one dude back, because it was according to the story, they only had, this was their last chance to to try to recreate history or change history to kill Sarah Connor, so John Connor would never exist. But of course, I can get around the idea. I can convince myself that John Connor would have somehow, some way, otherwise have come to existence, that Sarah would have gotten pregnant by somebody else, and he would have risen up to lead the resistance.
It wouldn't have been him, though.
And that's only because, if we have a continuing story that
I see. Okay, I see.
As of 2029, John Connor exists, and Kyle was born long after John was born. John would have been born to some different father, doesn't matter. And John, by his own volition, to rise up and kill these machines, he did it on his own, and away we go. John Connor's a hero. However, in this case, Kyle gets sent back. Kyle becomes John's father, and Sarah is now of this understanding that no matter what happens in the future, my son, John Connor, I now am cognizant that he is the savior of the human race. So I must train him. I don't care who the hell the father is. I have to train him to be the savior of the human race.
Immaculate conception.
So
I think Sam from Different Strokes, the redheaded
that
kid.
would be if Sarah was born without original sin.
Yeah, true.
Sam, the redhead kid from Different Strokes, should have actually been James Conner.
Should have been.
I'm with that.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
He was cool.
I still can't wrap my head around the Cyberdyne or the Skynet. I can get around John Connor, but I can't get around Cyberdyne.
Guy at work, his grandson's name's Connor John.
Oh, cool.
So
Because of the Terminator fan, or just it just happened that way.
We were talking about it this morning. He's like, "Oh, that's my grandson's name, or it's Connor John." So maybe he's the. So 2029 is not that far away.
No,
maybe this stuff will happen.
I promise you, it will happen.
So that's what this what got me interested in this is AI, and they talk of a singularity. It's where AI will be smarter than human beings, and we're not far from that.
It already
think so.
is.
Well,
smarter.
I don't think we're there yet, but close. Speaking of which, and
ask,
that's what in the news.
Ask a computer to do math.
Yeah, it's way better. But the Meta invested $15 billion in Scale AI. That's like one of the leading AI companies. This is like a couple of days ago. So they have a team of 50 people. They're trying to be the first to reach the goal of advanced general intelligence. So, I'm sorry, artificial general intelligence.
So I was talking about this the other day. Advanced general.
Artificial general intelligence.
Sorry, artificial general. To be clear, that's the stuff that the guy that came up with this and owns that company said to all of his employees, "Hey, before we release this, I need you all to build bunkers."
Yes.
Because once this gets out there, it's going to be bananas.
Yes.
I mean, we're basically going to be the ones to start Skynet and Cyberdyne.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's scary stuff, man.
That's where in 15,
shit,
20, 25, 30 years from now, they would have they were talking about a living wage because there'd be no jobs,
nothing to do.
for people to have. So you do nothing. And it's kind of, what was that, Wall-E or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing for people to do. So the government basically pays you to exist.
Think about this podcast. I mean, we're at the point where our voices, we could go into AI and have it just, hey, make a podcast with these 3 voices, and even think about
why wasn't this discussed earlier with me?
It does beg the question. It does beg the question with that idea of that living wage. If nobody's working,
yes.
From whom is the government collecting taxes?
Right. Where's the economy?
That's right.
Yeah.
There was no economy. That's what they're saying. Like they don't know how to base anything on what to do. Like they said a living wage, but yeah, like you're saying, where's it coming from?
So that's not going to work.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. But yeah, 15
what are you going to
billion.
do?
Bro, I'm telling you, in 5 years, we're all going to be running around like cavemen with guns and whatever, hunting for food while the big bad robots are coming after us.
Where's the 1% that control them? Where are they living?
That's the thing. That's where it all goes out of control.
I see a future more where I see it going is like a lot of virtual reality, like almost like the Matrix, where you're locked into like a virtual world.
I can dig that.
And
that's if the robots don't kill us.
That's it, man.
I think 200, 300 years from now, it's going to reset. Maybe even shorter.
Well,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the world will rid itself through another ice age, or it's time to renew.
But yeah, dude, it was great to get back, and I picked this. I just threw this out there just because I wanted to talk about AI a little bit.
I like that. I dug that. That was a good. That was a good.
And it's certainly appropriate for the time,
right?
Because AI is going to kill us all.
It is. So get it in now while we can, I guess.
As Bob Dylan said, the times they are changing.
I guess we should say AI is pretty cool. That maybe won't.
That's right. Dear AI masters, if you are listening to this someday, we love you, AI. Please don't kill us.
Yeah.
What if they would come back and be like, they would compute that at the last minute and be like, nah, this guy's cool. He loves us.
We saved the world.
Yeah, we saved the world.
That's right. The humans are okay.
Yeah, right.
Hey, another time travel would just be like, who is, what the fuck are their names?
Oh, Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted. Yeah. What if we just redid it?
Yeah.
With what was that man's name?
Wild Stallions.
Yes. Good movie.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll have to definitely do another one of these. You guys got anything else in closing?
No.
Nah, fun to be back in the basement, man.
Is Wild Stallions still the gay bar in Harrisburg?
No, that's called, I think it's called
just Stallions.
No, I think Stallions not even there anymore. It's something
That's
different.
not.
It's like Chuck's or something.
It's like
Bill's
donkeys.
Bill's Big Gay Adventure Bar.
Yeah. That's funny.
I don't know what it's good.
It's top shelf.
It's not Stallions anymore though. Stallions. No, because
Is that Megan?
There was like lights are always out, so it would say Stallions.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh god,
that's funny. Yes.
Top shelf. All right.
All right, guys. Anyway, yeah, don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. Check out our other podcast, You Might Be a Madman. You guys hope you've been checking that out. That's available Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this. Looking, You Might Be a Madman. You can look it up. And I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for listening to The Vintage Cinema Review in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We outie 5,000.